Hey guys, I waited as long as I could to do this video, but the video had to get done. And as always, this is not the gospel. These are just the views from my shoots. I have to do a video about the overturning of Roe vs. Wade. I waited to do the video because I didn't want the video to be me ranting and raving about my personal beliefs on a woman's right to choose. So what I'll do in lieu of that is I'll provide some perspective, as always, as well as maybe a dire warning. I want to start with RBG, God rest her soul, was not the rule. She was the exception to the rule. Unfortunately, a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court is the root cause of this situation that we're in, that we find ourselves in currently, and that we potentially could find ourselves in the future. There is no position, maybe even in life, maybe other than a parent, where a lifetime appointment is warranted or even realistic. Unfortunately, when you're appointed to anything for a lifetime, it's inevitable that you will become removed and detached from the reality that you are now governing over or presiding over, which has happened, as we can see. When you're no longer reflective of the country in which you preside over, you are no longer useful or effective. We all do it. We all look back at the past through rose-colored lenses with an unwarranted sense of romanticism. And that's what it seems like these justices are doing. They're thinking back on a long lost time where things were simpler. But the reality is, overturning Roe vs. Wade is not going to eliminate abortions. It's going to make them unsafe again. So are those people who like those red hats, or any hats for that matter, going to get hats on that say make abortions unsafe again? Because that's essentially what we're doing. I have sisters, I have a niece, a newborn niece joining my current niece, who I couldn't imagine telling them, looking them in their eyes and telling them that I didn't speak up on their behalf. I would die thinking that someone I love will be forced now to go back in time to choose between throwing herself down a flight of stairs or contacting the local cleaners in her neighborhood and seeing if they still can get her a wire hanger, because that's where we're going. Clarence Thomas. I won't go into anything about how I feel personally about him, but he did give us a clue as to where they're headed. They want to erase everything. Whoopi Goldberg said it best, but Mr. Thomas, I want to remind you, while you're concerned with the rights of the LGBT community, about women with women and men with men, your counterparts on that panel could very well be reminiscent on a time where you weren't and I wasn't considered a man. Think about that. What's next? Roe vs. Wade. What about Board of Education? Brown versus the Board of Education, to be specific. What's next? When do we stop going backwards? Progress is never in the rearview mirror. We never can look back at progress. Evolution is forward. Progress is forward. The fastest, most dangerous way down a slippery slope is backwards. And that's where we're going with this. I pray for our country. I pray for the women who are affected by this. And I pray for our future. But the first step is to get rid of lifetime appointments to the Supreme Court. No other governing body has a lifetime appointment. It's time to get rid of that. These are just the views from my shoes.